very good day to every single one of you in our audience, participants who's joining us today and who's going to be consuming this very beautiful content that we have created. My name is Vijeta, and part of the Cyro Spotlight series, we continue putting the spotlight on wonderful individuals and organizations all across India who are making a difference. They are transforming, they're using the digital technologies to add fantastic value to other enterprises, building partnerships, creating employment, and making sure that innovation is at the very forefront. Today, we have a very interesting company, by the way, Webio, and I think there's going to be a lot of talk about what does Webio mean. And the gentleman today that we'll be having this conversation with is Abhilash Krishnan. So he is the COO of Webio, and he's also the VP of Sales. He is the person with the responsibility of bringing in customers, making sure they stick with the organization and growing. And guess where he's from? He's from this very nice, beautiful town in Kerala, South India, Trivandrum. So multiple reasons to talk, understand, learn, engage. And with this, I would love to invite Abhilash. Thank you, Abhilash, for taking time out to be with us, to have this conversation along the Cyro Spotlight series. And we look forward to learn from you as well, my friend. Thank you so much. And Webio, what's that all about? Go for it.
Yes. So Webio started in 2010. The first product was named Bounced, which helped real estate companies and BFSI companies to connect instantly with their customers. Right. So it was a huge hit in the market because it helped people to get connected to the business immediately. So if you know, if a person is able to talk to a business immediately, the chances of a business happening are very, very high. So we were able to do that. And that was a unique USP. That was the USP of the product, and people liked it. You know, DLF, Mahindra Lifespaces, Lodha. We were able to sell it to a lot of brands during those days. And eventually we evolved to a much better prospects and much better products.
Excellent, Abhilash. So voice telephony, you're really doing well with it. And the list of clients that you have is truly incredible. Right. So I want to ask this to you, right? You obviously, as the person, VP sales, the CEO of the company, it's such a critical thing to have constant cash flows, customers, etc. How do you handle the stress and how do you go about it? How do you bring in more and more customers to Webio?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Vijeta, for appreciating us for the client list. Yes, of course, we all have worked really, really hard. I won't say that I did it. It's the entire team which did it. My CEO Krishnan and all the other people who are there in my team. They have all helped me, to do this. It's about persistence and perseverance. 2 words. If you ask me, right? Finding out your target audience, believing in your product. That you can do something for them. Kind of chasing them to understand that this is what I have for you, right? This is what I can do for you, right? Talking about that over emails, trying to reach them on LinkedIn. Sales guys would know, how we manage that, right? So yeah, there is a lot of stress as well involved with it. There are stressful days, stressful weeks, but of course, there's a breather in between when you close the lead, right? The happiness stays for at least a quarter before you get into the stress again.
So, of course, it's a cycle. It's a very important cycle for any organization, isn't it, Abhilash? Fantastic, really nicely stated. So, Abhilash, I want to ask you this one aspect. Of course, AI, ML, they're beyond buzzwords for Webio, I'm sure. But how do you incorporate technology? What are the innovations? How does you are there as CEO, as salesperson, but as a team, different departments, how do you all gel? How is technology really making a difference in Webio?
Yes, that's an interesting question, Vijeta. So what we do is, basically, I go out with my CEO to sell, right? We meet customers, right? We talk about, it's not that, okay, this is my product, please buy it. Of course, the conversation starts with, what is your current situation with regards to your inbound calls? Are you happy with your marketing activities? Right? Do you see any room for improvement? These are some questions that we ask. We take away, keys or cues from the previous customer conversations that we had. And do you have this challenge here, right? And we bring in, new technologies. For example, we are using AI in many ways. There are many use cases. Something interesting that I can tell you is we are able to capture the keywords from conversations. So imagine you are a car brand, right? You're selling 10 types of vehicles. And if I'm able to tell you, you received 1,000 calls yesterday, 400 were for this particular brand, right? So can you imagine the impact it can have, right? If your marketing team, your strategy team gets this data, there are so many things that they can do, right? Improve the marketing for the brands which are not getting too many calls, right? And make changes for the ones which are getting lot of calls, right? So that is one use case that I could share.
Excellent, boss. I think you brought out the perspectives very beautifully. Okay, Trivandrum, Kerala, work from home. So how is that working out? And I would love to understand these aspects about the culture, the ethos, and how do you make things work? Abhilash, that'll be very interesting.
Vijita, to be frank, it has been very difficult in the beginning. I mean, it was very difficult for all of us. We used to travel a lot. We always had meetings every month. We had to go to Gurgaon, and Mumbai, Bangalore, right? And all of a sudden, March 2020, Modi ji came on TV and said, it's time. So that was a life-changing moment for everyone, I think, right? People who faced that lockdown situation, right? We had to be inside homes. So it was there was a lot of anxiety and frustration. I don't know. There are so many emotions that came in those days. Locked up in your flat and trying to understand what's going to happen next, right? And we all started working from home. So initially, what we did is we started talking to each other a lot, right? We started talking to the team, telling everyone that okay, this is going to be fine. Lockdown will be over, right? It's not going to be forever, right? COVID will be controlled. And things like that. So it was very difficult, but now it's a way of life, right? We all are working from home. It's become a global world, kind of. Anyone can work for anyone from anywhere. So that's a great thing, I feel.
Interesting, very interesting, Abhilash. So, as a team, as a people, as an organization, Touchwood, you're growing, you're doing really well.
Yes.
What are in the future, if you have to look, say, 6 months or even 1 year ahead, what are the trends? What are your customers saying? What are the new things? India is such a growth. 2022 is going to be such a critical for a year for the country to grow.
Right.
The digital aspects of it, the voice telephony, so many things are there in your industry. Right. So can you just share some light on that, Abhilash?
Yes, of course. So what we see is evolution now, right? So if you remember, there was a time when you used to go to Google, find a business, go to their website, try to copy their number, remember their number, 973, and back to your dial pad and punch in the number so that you can call them, right? But now evolution has happened. If you go to Google, you just search for shops near me, you have all the shops, you have the click to call button now. You just click on it, you get the phone number and you just dial, right? So technology has taken over. Everybody understands that a conversation has to happen between people, between the consumer and the business for a transaction to happen, right? And people are always looking forward to make phone calls. So this has improved now, right? Every business now understands the importance of phone calls, or at least they are getting to understand the importance of phone calls. So in the future as well, we see a lot of adoption towards the cloud telephony scene. Small customers, like as you see, this is our new product, right? Tring Partner. We have introduced this for small and medium businesses itself. For a small business owner, let's say it can be a dentist or a small car dealer or a laptop dealer, right? They get so many calls in a day. So we have introduced this product only for them so that they can just go and manage all the phone calls that they get on a daily basis. So we see that in the next year as well, this adoption is going to increase. There are more people, more small businesses which are going to adopt to new technology, AI, and to do better business in India.
So a very bright future is there in our country, and of course, I think creating jobs is so critical as well, isn't it, Abhilash?
Yes, of course. Right.
Fantastic. Okay, so I would I'm sure our audience also, there are many people who work for companies which are starting up in smaller towns or they're growing, whether you're a salesperson or a marketing person or the founder of that company. You have been around for some time, Abhilash. I think you have a 6.5 year trajectory also with Vibrio.
Right.
So what is it that you would like to share with the people who are going to be watching this beautiful video, how should they be mentally and physically preparing themselves for what's going to happen over the next couple of years?
Yes. So I would just say that, whichever city you are in, I don't think that is a cause of concern at all, right? Gone are the days when you were supposed to be in Mumbai or in Gurgaon for a business to happen. I remember those days as well. The first question I used to be asked is, can you come down to meet me tomorrow? And I would be like, oh, okay, I have to check. Can we make it next week? Because I had to, book the flights and make the arrangements to be there, right? So I was thinking, my competitors who were there already in Mumbai or Gurgaon had a huge, plus point. They could just say, yes, I'm near your office. Can I come and meet you? Of course, right? The customer would be like, all right, let me do business with this guy. He's right here in my city, right? So now that challenge is not there. It was a huge challenge, to be frank, right? Even if your product is really good, you have to make sure that everything happens in a timely manner. You are able to meet the customer at the right time and make things happen at the right time. Now, all I have to say to people who are trying to build a startup in tier 2 or tier 3 city, right? Don't worry, continue your hustle. Right? There's no looking back. Now, location is not a problem at all. You can pitch from anywhere, wherever you are. From your home, you can pitch to any consumer. Pitch to any customer and let them know, what is the value that you can add. It boils down to that end of the day, Vijeta. That's what I've understood. Even if you are charging, say, 10,000 rupees per month, 1 lakh rupees per month, or 10 lakh rupees per month, how do you add value, right? Are you adding value to that organization? Are you adding value to that client? Is your product helping them with something, right? What is that? Keep analyzing that. No matter you are in a tier 2 city or in a tier 1 city. So that's what I would like to say.
Okay, thank you so much, Abhilash. I was just doing some research work, of course, on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile, on the website of your organization, and the various PR articles, etc., that's come out about VBO. Yes. And I did see a mention about Airtel. So what is the story of Airtel and VBO?
Oh, that's a beautiful story, Anjit. Actually, it happened back in 2019. We as in my CEO Christian, he happened to get in contact with Adarsh Nair. He's the chief product officer of Airtel. Right, over a coffee, they had an interesting conversation around the scenario of the Indian telecom sector. Right. My CEO Christian happens to be a very brainy guy when it comes to the telecom scene. He has a lot of understanding about things, what are the things that work, which are the things that don't work, and he had so many suggestions. And he got someone from Airtel. He just put them on the table, and then Airtel, wanted to know more about us. They wanted to meet us, so we went to Gurgaon to their office. We told them about the numerous scenarios, the use cases that we are doing for companies, and they found it very, very interesting. Like, okay, so companies are using your product for this, they're using it for that. So you're helping them to connect with your customers instantly. Well, that's very nice. What else are you doing? So the conversation grew, and some point down the lane, they were like, okay, what, we would want to be a part of it. We would want to be a part of your growth, and that's how it happened. It has helped us a lot. So VBO is the only cloud telephony company in India which is actually backed by a telecom operator, Airtel. So that's a very good thing. It's a very proud moment. It was a very proud moment for us for putting in so much efforts for so many years. Our telecom team. Yes, so it was pretty good.
Very inspiring. Very, very inspiring. Thank you for that, Abhilash. Okay. So again, right now, VBO, what does it stand for, and how do you live by whatever it means? What do you tell your team? Tell us about that.
I won't say that it does not play any role. It does. Everybody asks me, like, what is it? What is VBO? Like, we don't understand it. So I tell them it means way beyond. Like, you can see that circle. It's going beyond what you have asked us. That's kind of what we try to do with our clients as well. So we agree on something like, okay, this is what we're going to do for you, right? We take that, we do that, we deliver that first, analyze it, and we try to give them suggestions on what next can be done. So going way beyond. So that's the name of the company.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, not too many organizations can say that, we live by what our logo and our brand name says and organization name says. Beautiful. I think it's
Beautiful.
very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. I want to get this also from you, Abhilash, because when we talk to entrepreneurs, we talk to startups, we talk to companies that are growing and all their leaders, right, whether they're in operations or sales or bringing in customers, it's so important to have very powerful community connects and partnerships.
Right.
So how do you approach it as a person, as someone who's a leader, and as an organization? How does it work for you?
Yes, Vijeta. What usually, I mean, when I started out, I was not very sure about how to approach partnerships. I mostly believed in myself trying to do something, going out to clients, trying to close businesses and stuff. And on the way, I happened to meet a couple of agency partners who were trying to do the same thing like me. Right? They had their marketing related products, and I happened to chat with them. And so I have understood it from the ground, from what do you say, ground zero. So I met some agency partners, collaborated with them. So if you ask me today, I already have a set of clients who trust me, who know that I would deliver. I, as in Babyo, would deliver, right? And if I have another agency partner who also has trusted brands under him, who is also delivering, and we both can come together and help each other's clients, right? What else do you need, right? So that's what we do. So I partnered with Cyro. They are helping us with our customer support functions, and also I'm partnered with companies like Single Interface, right? So we have a mutual kind of an agreement. They bring their clients to us. We explain, what we can do for them. And if we have some clients who are looking for marketing related services, we take them to them, right? So it's like a give and take kind of a thing, and it helps incredibly well, to grow.
You have illustrated really beautifully the importance of partnerships and how to actually make it work in the real world.
Yes.
Fantastic, Abhilash. Beautifully done. Thank you for that. Okay, so before we let you go, Abhilash, it's very critical for us to pick your brains a little bit, in the sense that specifically coaching, mentoring, understanding the ecosystem and what is happening in terms of trends in industry are very critical. So how do you talk to people? What is the kind of information or conversations that take place? We would love to understand that a bit, Abhilash.
Yeah, sure. So it's all about conversations. It's all about motivating people, being there for them, and of course, when you are down and when you need motivation, you look forward to your mentor, your bosses, and so I kind of understand that. So we try to have that kind of a culture, a very casual culture inside the organization. We are always supportive to people. We always have our own phone calls. We talk to them, right? So we don't have a leave policy like that. That okay, you took a leave last month, so there's no leave for you this month. It's we are absolutely casual about it. We just want them to perform to their full potential, learn new things. So mostly the communication is around are they when it comes to the team, right? I'm talking about the employees at Wavio. So our conversation is mostly around are they growing as employees? Are they learning new things? What else do they want to do? Right? What are the other opportunities that we have that we would like to provide to someone who has been there with us for the last 5 years or 6 years, right? So that's the reason we have some employees who haven't left us for the last 10 years. They don't want to go anywhere else. And it's a very happy feeling for us too, that we are able to deliver that kind of a feeling. And when it comes to communication with the clients, it's more about being open. Like, are we able to deliver the value that we have promised, right? And mostly it's about the use cases, Vijeta. It boils down to are we helping them make revenue, or are we delivering the promise that we made? So most of the conversations are around what next can be done. What is the next challenge? Like I told you, like when we start the conversation during the sales cycle, we promise on delivering something, we deliver that, and we continue connecting with them to understand what else can be done. Like I said, AI, right? So once these businesses start tracking these phone calls using the Wavio services, we introduce the next product, which are AI-based tools to capture the information from calls so that they can make sense out of this beautiful data and help improve their business further. I hope I answered your question.
Very beautifully, very, very beautifully, Abhilash. Thank you for that. I think we have really covered so many important critical aspects, partnerships, building teams. You yourself have been with Webio for so many years, and growing together and making sure that everyone is nurtured and is doing well for themselves. I think that makes such a big difference. So Abhilash, if we have to say that we want to know you as a person a little bit better, from personal angle and professional angle, and you have to capture that in a few bullet points, how would you state that?
From a professional point, yeah, I am a sort of a little stressed out guy, I would say, when it comes to sales and stuff. Right? We have the responsibility of a company. We have the responsibility of our employees on our head, right? So we have to always think about that. How can you multiply? So I'm always you can say the multiplication guy. I always keep thinking about how I can multiply it. What else can be done? Which other companies can I reach out to and help them improve their processes and improve their businesses, improve their sales. In my personal life, I'm pretty chilled out. I like to hang out with my friends, catch up over for a drink over the weekend, sing songs. I like to sing songs, just like that for fun. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Very nice. I think it comes out, that you really care, you're compassionate. And yes, yeah, it's a big responsibility, right? Bringing in money for the organization is so critical. And I'm sure you'll keep growing a lot, Abhilash. Thank you for this. This has been a wonderful conversation.
Really
Really
Thank you so much for having me, Vijeta. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Yes, yes. And thank you to all our audience. Please, you should check out what Abhilash is up to. And of course, this is a great way for us to spotlight wonderful people in the community ecosystem, people who are growing and doing well for themselves. So this is Vijeta here. Thanking you so much. And from the Sarah Spotlight team, take care and best wishes everyone. Take care so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.